right. Welcome everyone to another 5 a.m. Club After Hours where we talk about faith, fitness, mental health, and business. And tonight is going to be a great conversation. We're talking to Ashley and Kim from Saga Prep. This is not just a tutoring conversation. This is about students, parents, confidence, learning gaps, and what happens when children need more support than they're currently receiving. Before we talk about the services, we want to get to know Kim and Ashley. I almost said Kim and Kim. Kim and Ashley a little better. So how you guys doing tonight?
We're doing well. How are you? Hi, everybody.
Hello, how you guys doing?
So I'm gonna get right into it because I want to know, like, your story is interesting. So before Saga Prep, where were you guys? Kim, you could go. Ashley, you could go. It doesn't matter, but where were you guys before Saga Prep? How did that even come about?
Okay, so how far back do you want us to go? So like when we were younger, like when we first said we wanted to be a teacher, Virginia Union, because see, like
wherever you want to start. Let's get there. Yeah, wherever you want to start, like the teacher, then going into Saga Prep, but the need, we want to talk about where you guys even your journey started, even being a teacher. Let's start there.
Well, my mother's an educator. And so I've really followed in her footsteps. I enjoy going with her to her school and helping out. I enjoy just being in her space and seeing what she was doing in the education world. And so as I started thinking about my career and what I wanted to do, at first as a kid, you're like, I'm gonna be a veterinarian, I'm gonna be a pediatrician, all of the things. Then reality hit in and I was like, no. I think I'm gonna go to school for education. I think this is where I need to be. And I went that route and I met Kim at Virginia Union and we both were in the education department. And it kind of started from there with our passion for kids. But I'll let Kim share where she was because her story's cute.
I always knew that I was going to be a teacher. I'm a military brat. So when I was in third grade, I had a teacher that not only gave what we needed to learn as far as content, but she gifted experiences. I loved being in her class. And even though sometimes I talk too much, like I'm probably going to do tonight, but she was just everything. Her name is Miss Lucille K. Petard. And so from there, I knew I was going to be a teacher. So fast forward, my fourth grade year, I taught my first summer class. And it was a 6-week class on long division. I had 9 students and I got paid in Barbie dolls and it was the best thing ever. And then when we moved to the States, because we were military brats, the education, what we were receiving over in Germany was, I'm not going to say it wasn't comparable, but at any rate, my brother was in danger of failing first grade. So I watched my mom. She was adamant that the school was not going to fail her son, and she was going to do everything that she had to do in order to make sure that he was going to be second grade ready by the time school started. So she ordered Hooked on Phonics. And not only I just watched her like just teach him, just do all of the things. And that intrigued me as well. I was that student at the end of the year that asked for all of the extra worksheets so I could do them right and do them wrong. So I could play school over the summer. So at any rate, landed me at Virginia Union University, where, of course, just like Ashley said, our separate paths started aligning with the love of education. We both joined RPS. This is my 20th year. March will be my 21st year. Ashley's going into her 20th year. We don't look like what we've been through.
Nope.
No, that black don't crack. And so, yeah, that's where we got started as teachers. We ended up both landing jobs on the East End at sister schools, what they say. I was at Fairfield for 13 years and she was over at Woodville. So of course, in both separate spaces, we were throwing our magic, doing all the things. And then the opportunity started coming where people were asking us, do we do this on the side, or would we be interested in helping others that need us a stronger foundation?
And so I started tutoring a young man that his mom was like, look, I just need your help. Let's just give it a try. And I was like, girl, I don't really do this like that. And she was like, let's give it a try. Let's see how it works. And I had him in 5th grade all the way to the day he graduated and went to ODU. It was just amazing. But from there, she shared it with someone, and she called me, and then it started getting a little out of hand. And so Kim was on the side tutoring too. She had a client or two, and I told her about what I was doing, and she was like, Ashley, this is our opportunity. And I was like, let's do it. And so we started doing a lot of the things on our own. We ended up having kids, and our boys were born like a year apart, and we used their initials to create something amazing. My son is AA and her son is GS, and so we put it together and we created Saga, which represents showing and growing academically, because that's what was happening with the students whose lives we were touching. And so we decided to add prep to it, because eventually we want to be a brick and mortar. And Kim is adamant about starting a school. So that preparatory piece, we wanted to add that in there. And that's how we became Saga Prep LLC. And we did that for about 10 years. And then the 10th year, we were like, hold up, we're exhausted. We're tired. We weren't really spending a lot of time with our family. It was a big sacrifice between them and what we were doing, sports, cheering, husbands, boyfriends, fiancés. And so we called on a young lady, one of my coworkers. She was doing an amazing job. And I was like, well, how do you feel about tutoring? And she said, I don't mind. So she started it. And next thing you know, people started coming. And so we had to keep up with the demand. And so now we currently have six tutors.
Yep.
We currently have 6 tutors.
Tutors.
And all of our tutors are certified teachers. We prefer to have it that way. And it's nothing against any college students or anybody that's not a certified teacher.
Yet. The power of yet.
Yeah. We just want to make sure that our scholars receive that instruction from someone who is licensed and ready to hit the ground running immediately when they walk into that room with that teacher.
Someone who's privy to all of the things, whatever district changes happens, statewide changes, professional developments. They already have what they need. We don't have to do much to prep them because they're already prepped.
Absolutely.
I do want to go back to Kim. You said that you're a military brat. And I think military kids have a special case when it comes to traveling and going to different schools. So tell me more about what your brother was going through, if you can remember, that would potentially have him repeat a grade.
We were in Vilseck, Germany. Our school was Vilseck American Elementary School. And from what I remember, us coming back to the States. So I did 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 2nd through 6th grade there. And then when we came back, it was kind of like a culture shock for all of us, because where I was in elementary school in Germany, now I'm in middle school over in the States. And so we moved to, where did we move to? Augusta, Georgia, Columbia County. And the curriculum was quite different. And when I say quite different over on the Georgia side, it wasn't compatible to what we were learning over in Germany. And I'm not saying that our education was washed down in Germany, but I do feel like the curriculum that we had was able to service anybody able to come from anywhere. So when you try to adapt that to what Georgia per se wants, then that's really where the riffle-raffle. Sorry, I'll probably make up language while we're on here, but that's really where it started getting a bit wonky. And he wasn't performing on grade level as far as reading. He was always good with numbers, always good with science, but that just wasn't enough to sustain him in the reading and social studies areas.
Okay, gotcha. And Ashley, do you have any memories that you could pull from that someone was struggling in your family? And I'm asking these questions because I think that also plays a part in you guys starting tutoring and extra help as well. So is there anything that you could pull from your memory where you saw someone struggling in school and you're like, maybe I can use this to help?
To be honest, I didn't see that so much, but I saw the fun that my mom brought to the classroom. She was a science resource teacher, and she was hands-on with everything. And so because she brought that to the classroom, I wanted to do that too. I wanted my kids to enjoy me. I wanted it to be fun. I wanted them to love learning like I did. My brother and I we were space students, and so because we were space students, we were challenged. Space is, you could probably
like
share
gifted and talented.
Gifted and talented.
Mm-hmm.
So we
they smart.
We were challenged a little differently. And then my sister, by the time my sister went to school, I was in college, early high school, so I wasn't really paying attention as much. So I can't dive into my personal family, but I did see struggles in the classroom, and I did talk to parents that wanted the assistance, and that's what made me really like jump out there and tutor. But in the classroom, I started to notice big deficits with learning, and the foundational skills that the kids should have had weren't there. And that was a struggle because being a fifth grade teacher and having to scaffold down to third grade or second grade even to assist them was something that I was trying to figure out. How can I help these babies? How can I fix this? And I didn't know how. So as years went on and I started, doing my research and learning more, that's when I was like, hey, I can help them. But again, not when I was younger. I didn't see it as much. And I was in private school too, if that says anything. Like they don't
you what Kim said,
I
you
was
smart.
Baby. I was all my life until 11th grade.
That's dope. That's dope. So Saga Prep, so what age groups do you guys work with?
So we start with really pre-K. Our youngest was a pre-K student, and the mom just wanted to get them ready for kindergarten, and so she started sending her baby. So I would say pre-K, and we have had adults that are taking a test for a trade, or they want to pass a test to do something different with their lives. They've come to us too. So we can't even put ourselves in a box and say K through 12 anymore. It's kindergarten, pre-K through whoever needs the assistance. If we can handle it, we will support them.
So that's dope. So I'll give you a scenario. Say I am coming to you and I'm taking, like I didn't graduate from high school. I want to take my GED. Can you help me get ready to take my GED so I can start working? Is that something Saga Prep offers?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna just throw some scenarios out here to you.
Oh Lord, are we ready for this?
So, say I am an exceptional student, but I'm not getting pushed hard enough in school. I get in trouble. People think I have behavioral issues, but I'm just bored at school. Say my parent wants me to come to you. What can you do for me?
So that's where our gifted enrichment sessions follow. I'm a gifted and talented teacher with RPS. And so I had a couple of those type of scholars that attended a private school where grandma was like, they're going to get what they need because I'm going to make sure that I just want you to always continue to have that challenge with them to make sure that they're always on top of their toes. So I had this first grader that was doing multiplication. Man, they're not even thinking about multiplication in first grade in a public school, and we're not knocking anything, but where it started at home, she wanted to ensure that we were the people that could be able to keep that moving forward. So it could be in reading, it could be in math. We know that talents happen in any spaces. It could be artistic wise. You may not be a reading or math person, but you may be able to have some recyclables in front of you and create something that could hold a set of textbooks. Whatever it is, we're going to meet them where they are and take them wherever they haven't even seen where they could go.
Absolutely. Just tapping into every part of the learner, not just academically, but every part of the learner. And even
what they say, that's holistic.
The holistic child.
That's dope. Because a lot of teachers, and I say traditional teachers, because I don't look at you guys as being traditional teachers. A lot of traditional teachers have one way of doing things and they stick by that book, that structure. So what makes you guys different? I know what makes you guys different, but I want to know, and I want everyone else to know what makes you guys different from
Well, I'll say
traditional
this: we we are big, and Kim is really big on it, which has made the company big on it. Where we want to gift our students with experiences. We want to make sure that every time they come to us, first off, that they want to come, and that when they do come, they are doing something engaging with it to the point where they don't even recognize that they are learning at times because they're doing, they're actively engaged in the content with the tutor. And the tutors that we hire, we really push that with them to make sure that they are giving 110%, bringing the games, bringing the activities, tapping into what they already know and stretching them if we possibly can, or if they're not there yet, to stretch them, meeting them where they are through activities and games that are engaging and fun for them, but also making sure we hit the mark to make sure the parents see the growth, because of course we're showing and growing academically. But then also that part, and then also just making sure that the kids want to be there. If you don't want to be there, then it's pointless,
Right.
So we want to make sure that they we going to tutoring today. They have that excitement about coming to see us.
We want to be the best part of their day after they've had a long day of learning at school, and then some of our babies even go to after school. Some of them even fit us in right before they have to go to a practice.
Mm-hmm.
We want to ensure that the way that they come in, they leave out even better.
Mm-hmm.
So, a question that I personally have, seeing kids and I grew up with nothing but girls. Now I have nothing but boys.
Three of them
boys. Yeah. So, what's the difference between teaching boys and girls?
Boys love math.
Yeah,
boys can do that math.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing that is a plus for me, that they come ready to do the math, ready to figure it out. Now the problem with them is that they think they can do it in their heads. And I'm a teacher that says, show your work, prove it to me, justify that answer. But boys are really good when it comes to math. And I would say girls are better readers. What do you think?
Readers, writers, but we got some girls that are super strong. I mean,
in math too.
In math too. And just like Ashley said, everything is up here. Not even a struggle, it's just getting them to show what they know. But I would probably say the girls would be the better, not necessarily the better, but they attach on to reading because they can be able to take that book and go further places. In Saga Prep, we ensure that our students get some element of writing. Now, we will talk about writing in the pandemic on another episode, but we ensure that our students get, that our scholars get that writing piece. And then from there, they can explore and go anywhere. And so the boys, it's really kind of like dogs, frogs, and stripes. But the girls, they're like, and then there was a blue unicorn outside with purple legs and pink toenails. I'm like, yes, give me more, give me more. And then we have to go back and say, hey, we don't use and thens. Those are periods to complete. But that's a whole nother episode. We can't give you all our hidden gems on this one, my friends.
But I will say too that girls are more what's the word I'm looking for? They engage quicker than our young men. Our young men, they come in a little hesitant. Not really wanting to be in tutoring until they're in tutoring. And then they're like, hey, we're going to tutoring today. I even get texts. I'll give them my phone number, say, just text me. You got homework? Text me. Next thing I know, they text it every day. Hey, I did this problem. Can you help me with this problem? They're reaching out to us, and that's what we want. We want them to be able to reach out to us and know that we're there to support them too. So it takes a little convincing from the boys, but they get there eventually. Yeah,
and I think it's comfortability as well. Like, you guys bring that warm spirit. You make people want to talk to you. So I think what boys are already and it depends on the age as well. Like, they're cool. They're like, man, I don't want to do this.
That's what it is.
and they're like, man, when you get warmed up to them, they're like, oh, hey, Miss Kim, Miss Ashley, like, they're always going to be like, they're going to be your best friends because they're like, oh, I love going here. I love learning from her. And another reason I ask this is because I feel like boys are active learners. What I mean by active learners are they need to be moving around to retain the different things that they are learning. because we're just sitting at a table. It's hard for boys to stay focused on, especially things they don't want to do. Like playing a game, they can sit there for hours. But when it's something that they don't really want to do, it's hard for them to sit down and really listen. So what do you guys have to say about that?
That comes with the experience, right? That comes with making sure that, we always meet with our parents first. We have conversations with every parent. We literally speak to them. They get to see us face to face, and we talk to them, get to know their child. We have a questionnaire before their child begins, and it talks about their interests, their hobbies, their likes, their dislikes.
Right.
We create a treasure chest full of things, but then we also talk about what can we bring to the table to make sure that these kids are engaged and they receive that experience. Because if they don't have that experience, it is going to be another boring session. And we don't want that for them. You know what I mean? So instead, our tutors come up with activities and different ways to engage them. One of our tutors used to do a basketball shoot. After they answer the question, they shoot it in the basketball. We just try to engage them. If I know you like basketball, I'm creating that shoot. If I know you like Barbies, then I'll bring a Barbie. Every time you answer the question, you get 2 minutes to play with her, or whatever the case may be. Just something to engage them and have them look forward to that end goal that they may want.
And we also build in brain breaks. So that could be anything like doing your multiples by skip counting on one foot, anything like really anything that comes up off, not necessarily that comes up off the brain, because our teachers, they're privy to all of the things, because we do only have that 1 hour. So we can't afford a 30-minute brain break, right? But something to also just offset getting up, standing up, getting those getting that blood flowing, getting that heart pumping. So then that way, however many brain breaks are needed, we've had some clients that have needed up to 4 brain breaks, but they had to earn that brain break. It just wasn't given.
Yeah, I think earning is everything, because the world is about earning things and not being anything given to you, really. So I love that you said earn. Now, I know, Kim, you said we're not going to touch on the pandemic, but I do want to ask some questions about the pandemic. We could keep the writing for another episode, but I do want to know from Kim, you and Ashley, how detrimental was the pandemic to kids learning?
To their learning.
I would say
they were in school.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're not in school, you're not learning. If you don't know how to work technology, you're not learning. If your parents aren't sitting side by side with you to make sure that you're paying attention, you're not learning. So I would say it was definitely detrimental. My baby was in kindergarten. That's where you learn how to read.
Yep.
And she had to learn how to read through a computer. And guess what? 5th grade, going to 6th grade right now. She's there now, but her struggle was real. And I didn't want to blame it on anything, but I had to say we can't ignore what COVID did to our babies.
Yep.
And so I know that we weren't used to that. Technology wasn't even as heavy as it is right now until after COVID.
Yep.
And although I love technology and I'm grateful for it, I would have preferred my baby be in school, to get what she needed. And so because we didn't have that, Kim and I created an avenue for that. You want to talk about that avenue?
Sure, I sure will. So the avenue was like right when that was March 2020. We had where we had some tutoring clients that were already coming to us. The parents saw a need right when everything shut down, and some school districts had a plan. Some school districts were just trying to figure it out. Some teachers were doing it. It was just all over the place. So Ashley and I created the enrichment sessions. So every Tuesday and Thursday, our parents, and then we opened up to other, close family and friends. Our what am I trying to say? Lost my train of thought. Oh, from Tuesday and Thursdays from 9:30 to 12:30 roughly, we did sessions on reading, writing, and math. And if we were able to fit in some science, some STEAM, we included that as well. But it was really heavy on the reading, writing, and math, things that we knew that probably weren't getting touched. And because everybody was everywhere, parents still wanted to ensure that their children were getting something.
And we thought it was going to be temporary. We got let out in March.
It was
just like March to June. We were like, oh, okay. we only have a couple of. Then we found out that we aren't coming back.
Not at all.
We were like, hold up, what? So we had
Sir Patti
to.
LaBelle voice on our own.
I wish that we. Sorry, we're
Sorry.
about to break it. But yeah, we knew that we had to do more,
Yeah.
and so we started a summer camp.
Mm-hmm.
Just to like make sure that they still were getting the things that they needed. Plus,
Yep.
our parents still had to go into work.
Yep. Main thing.
How do we help these babies and help with this gap before they get to school next year? Or so we thought. We thought they were going to school.
And then they said, hey guys, they're going to go to school, but it's going to be on a computer. And so our parents from the summer camp were like, so what are y'all doing? So that's really where the challenge came from Ashley and I. We were like, they're asking for it.
Let's give it to
Let's
them.
give it to them. So in this very space where you see now, my house became basically like the virtual learning space.
It was our brick and mortar.
Yes. The garage was our enrichment. I mean, not our enrichment, was our virtual pod for
RPS.
And this space that we're in now, this was for Henrico. And then in between, Ashley was on the screen. I was in another room teaching my own students. My fiance was downstairs in the basement teaching PE. So in hindsight, we had to hire 2 other people to help us oversee what those oversee the enrichment sessions and all. And because Ashley was able to be out the classroom, she was really able to like hone in on what all of this looked like and ensuring that the students were actually on the screen. They were actually learning. They were actually paying attention, unlike what some of us were seeing on the back end, i.e. me, with students flipping on a bunk bed, a student come in feeding the baby. It was just, we're not going to talk about my experience, but it was just a bit all over the place. So parents ensuring that they knew that we could do this and really laying down the foundation of what else can y'all do. I don't even think y'all know what y'all can do.
They pushed us into this.
They did.
And I'm grateful that they did, because the kids that came to us at least got something. And then when we finished with virtual, we would support them with the homework.
Yes.
We had people here to help them, any projects that they had going on. We just tried to make it work so that parents didn't feel like their babies weren't getting anything, and that the kids were able to close some gaps, because it's really hard to try to show how to show your work on the computer.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to pull up your paper to the screen and say, well, this is what I did. And if there's a misconception there, trying to fix that through communication, because that's all we had. You know, like just verbally explaining to them, no, you put the wrong number here, put it in the tens place, put it in the ones place. For a teacher that is not tech savvy and trying to figure out how to do things, and teachers that were new to the career, it was a lot. And so that was how we contributed to make sure that our scholars got what they needed. And it was the parents that pushed us into this area. I know, was that the question? Because we just went.
No, that's good.
That's just okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of things came out of that as well. So a few things. PE virtually, I've never heard of that.
He was doing it. He was literally about to walk in, but like, no, PE, it was happening. Them kids were up. If those kids, I'm gonna tell you, they weren't doing anything else. At least we know the students at Barack Obama Elementary School were doing PE.
Yes. Even during the
we
virtual sessions, he did PE for us.
Because
so the kids got a chance to be outside and doing exercises. They were able to do STEM classes.
Because the virtual day ended around like 2:30ish, but parents were still needing us until that 4 or 5 o'clock hour. So that's where we came up with the STEM explorations and also the PE.
And we had visitors weekly to do different things with the kids, plant plants, show a dance, do interpretational dance, music,
horticulture,
whoever we could find that
specialized in something, or was rather like, listen, y'all got something good going on. Let me reach out to somebody to bring that to y'all.
And they were willing to come, and they also wanted to be a part of it and meet the kids and be around kids because of the pandemic and not being able to do what we love to do,
which is being around people.
Yes.
So this is exciting. It's like I'm learning something new because I wasn't here during the pandemic. I was in Afghanistan, actually. So I didn't experience the shutdown or anything like that. Like I left before it happened, and I didn't come back until it wasn't over, but people were back in the street. You just had to have a mask on.
Mm-hmm.
So like me hearing like what the kids were doing, like how you guys were teaching, it's amazing to me because I'm like, oh, all of that was going on here. Like that's crazy. Like you had to
It was
learn how to be tech savvy without someone teaching you how to be tech savvy. So how did that even go? Did you guys have to ship computers to kids that didn't have computers? Like how did that?
So at the school, the families had a time slot that they would come in, and we would give them a computer, and they would also get like all the different resources that they need. Even fifth grade graduation, they had a graduation, but it was drive through. Literally, they had to drive around, get out, get their diploma, and get back in the car and go. So everything we did, the school was our central location, but they got their material from the school, and then they would come home and learn. The biggest thing were the kindergartners. If the parents weren't sitting beside them, it was so hard. So because I'm an instructional coach and I don't have a classroom, I would pop into kindergarten and like help mute the screen, help, call a parent on the back end if I had to make sure that somebody was there to help the child because they couldn't get in. They didn't know how to. By the end of it, they were pros, but just processing with them throughout the experience was a lot. It was crazy.
It sounds like it could be very disheartening if like, do you see people giving up? Like I'm not even gonna log in today.
Oh yeah.
So the other question I have is, how do parents deal with the guilt of feeling like they did their kids a disservice now that they're behind because of the pandemic? What can you tell those parents?
I don't know how they feel.
I would say maybe not to feel guilty because what they've done is accepted what the world has given them, and that was basically press play. So you don't know what you don't know. And then at that time, it was like, hey, everything would still be okay. And us educate, I think the educators really were the only ones that really. I hope that everybody was as passionate as me because I saw it all the way back then. And I feel like I've told Ashley, she's been hearing it for years, like, Ashley, this just ain't good. Ashley, this just ain't good. Just watch what this happens. Just watch what happens. All it is going to be is just a problem that's going to just be layered on top of layer. No matter what grade you were in, you were impacted. And that impact is going to last a lifetime. Like it at least for these scholars. So,
but I would also tell the parents in situations like that, like myself, find the resources, talk to the school, reach out to the resources. My resource was Kim. My child struggled with reading because she lacked she didn't receive what she needed during COVID. Mm-hmm. So my child got tutored by Kim. If you don't have the financial means to do that, then your next option is the school building. What can we do to support our children to make sure that they fill in those gaps? That the being, when it comes to reading, I'm not as proficient, but being able to, those sounds, those blends, being able to put words together, comprehension. What can you do to help my child? If you don't advocate for your child, who's going to advocate for them? Mm-hmm. And so that's what I had to do because I noticed what my child was going through, and I'm like, hey, Kim, what we gonna do? So we did the things. And so I would tell parents the same thing. Reach out to the school. If that doesn't help, you got us, let us know what we can do to help you. We would always, offer a hand, but we also guided them to other locations to get the support they needed because we know it was needed.
So let me piggyback off of her. My daughter, because she was 3 at the time, and because all the daycares and everything were closed, we put her in private care with Vantage Prep, selfish plug. Hey, Michelle Mack. We put her in what we felt was a very, very quality preschool program. Bailey was reading at 4 years old. So I was like, all right, we're getting ahead of this because once outside of what we saw with the ground run, I was like, when she gets into that classroom, there's going to be all kinds of students in there. We don't know what backgrounds they've come from. And we know that daycare has been closed. So you're going to have all kinds of students. Let's just make sure our kid is ready. Spent a heavy, good money on there. Well, we got to school. She got to kindergarten. She was in classroom with students whose parents hadn't, and there's no blame on anything. I'm just sharing what my experience was. Who hadn't done anything. One child was still in diapers, hadn't been potty trained. I don't know how that worked. Then we had another child that cried for his mom every single day because I guess he had been with his mom every single day. So students like Bailey, the typical teacher, will look and say, okay, you got it. So you're probably going to be my person that goes to the office. And so Bailey became that person. And so now she's reaching fourth grade and she's a below grade level reader. How does that happen? Because all of the other things that fed in with COVID, your behaviors that weren't managed before students were getting to school, layered on top of layer on top of layer, teachers not being able to, what's the word, scaffold, being able to really say, okay, this group of kids got it. Maybe everybody doesn't need the letter M. Maybe Bailey, Ashley, and Kim, you need decodable M. So there is two different types, not two different types of stories, but we all have our stories. So don't feel guilty. I can't say don't feel guilty. I feel guilty because I didn't catch it in enough time and didn't challenge the school. But this last year, we did challenge the school a bit more to just basically say, hey, we understand that these kids came in this way. You can't, it's not just a one size fits all. You really have to break it down. And so that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, don't necessarily feel guilty if you know that you've done everything in your power to do it.
Yes, don't be in denial.
That part.
Don't be in denial. If you see something, say something, talk to somebody, because denial is not going to move us forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't deny what you see. Oh, they're all right. They just, no, they're not.
No,
they're not. And they need that support from you. They need you to advocate for them. And if you don't, they're going to continue to be, oh, it's all right, until you realize in 7th grade that your child needs more help than you can possibly manage. So don't be in denial. And don't ask for that support.
And don't be afraid to hold the schools accountable too. Mm-hmm. And then after you do all of that, holla at Saga Prep.
So another good gem that I'm gonna say, this is just my experience. When raising kids or teaching kids or anything in life, we all need a village. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, we all had that village where we come together, we help each other, we learn. The kids get disciplined by everyone. But when you don't have that village, and I'm not just speaking on kids, adults need a village as well. You need resources. You need people to talk to. You need people to learn from. And I see one of the comments says, actually, it's our duty to teach our kids what's real in the world. They don't teach that in America's curriculum. Too many real life lessons not taught in school. So what I'm trying to do with building a community and you guys is change that dynamic. We need to teach adults and kids how to better themselves in life, period. So that's why I brought you guys on as partners. So we're partners now. We help the kids, I help the adults. We come together and build that village. But you guys are amazing. I know we're right at time and we want to keep this going. So bi-weekly, that's what I'm gonna say. Bi-weekly. Tune in to our conversations bi-weekly, and you will learn more than you can imagine. In Saga Prep, it's the next up. So, you guys have anything you want to say before we end the live tonight?
I mean, you know, we do what we do like we're doing it for TV. I mean, we're the experience, we're the hidden gem on the East End. So, you know, if you're just now getting to know us, a lot of you didn't know our story or know our backstory. So, hopefully you've been intrigued to follow up in a week and some change.
Well, also thank you for seeing something in us and for taking us on this journey together, joining this journey, letting us join this journey with you.
Yes.
We are excited about it. We can't wait to talk more about what we bring to the table, you know?
Yes, very excited. So as you guys know, we'll be having these conversations bi-weekly, but also if you want to get in contact with Kim and Ashley, they will be in the 5 a.m. Club school community, and they will have their own section where they will be teaching lessons in the future. So join now and learn later. So
okay.
That's the 5 a.m. Club after hours. And again, we talk about faith, fitness, mental health, and business. And until next time, stay safe.
Peace.
Bye, y'all.